Customer complaint, bumpy ride. Well, there's your problem. You drove overboard so much, you got yourself a little flat spot there. That's not supposed to look like that. And if we come over here, I've already removed one of the wheels because... So this unit was in the shop... Come on. This unit was in the shop about a week ago. And in that week, they drove over so much plastic that they destroyed a tire. One of the caster wheels. Here, let me show you. This is all the plastic I pulled out. This is the caster wheel. You know, it's a little worn. It's about a week worth of more. I'm not concerned about that. What I'm concerned about is that hole right there. That is where plastic got sucked into this bearing, and now it's messed up. So now it needs a new bearing. Let's get it. Alrighty, when it comes to changing out these wheels, I personally like to pick it up with another forklift. Don't worry, I have it safely. If you could tell, I do in fact have blocks under there. You can kind of see the difference. Blocks holding it all up, so now we're nice and safe. I'm going to go ahead and get to work changing out these wheels. Shouldn't be too hard. Shouldn't be too hard considering it was just done about a week ago. A month ago. These were done a month ago. So yeah. Crown load wheels are kind of stupid. There are definitely other ways to do it, but they like to use roll pins. So you got to beat out the roll pin to change the wheel. Look at that. Look how easy that came out. It should have been easy. Just did it a month ago. Let's adjust, you guys. There we go. That's a bit better. A little brass drift punch because you don't want to destroy the actual axle. You don't want to mushroom it because if you mushroom it, then you got to grind it and clean it and all that kind of stuff, which I ground it and cleaned it a month ago. I don't really want to do it again. And if you mushroom it, good luck getting it to move if you mushroom it too bad. Now this should be loose enough. There we go. There we go, one axle out. If you do take a close enough look at this, you will notice this one has a little broken piece off. Typically, so this right here, hold on. This right here, that's where the roll pin goes. It holds it. But as it sits in, it's not enough for this to come. It's not enough for this to come out. It's unable to still remove itself. So I'm not going to replace this axle just yet. But it's on thin ice. At least the bearings on this don't look too bad. But now you could definitely see the flat spot. Look at that. They drove over plastic hard. Alright, let's go ahead and grab a new wheel. Does the other one need a new wheel? These have been replaced new enough. Nah, this is fine. I don't want to just go throwing $70 wheels at it. if it doesn't need it. I don't know, what would you guys do? You saw what that wheel looked like. This is what a new one looks like. You see how it's all nice and smooth? I expect some rough. That's just from them driving. It's gonna happen. But do you think it's bad enough that we need new wheels on both sides? I don't know. I think that's one of those things to where if I was at a dealer, which I used to work at a dealer, if I was at a dealer, I could recommend both. But I'm the customer now. I wouldn't recommend both. I wouldn't pay for both if it doesn't need both. Tap it all the way through. Now keep in mind, I'm not wailing on it. I'm tapping. Light taps. Roll pin punch. Make sure it goes all the way through, because nothing's worse than trying to send your roll pin through and not having it aligned. Good luck trying to beat your roll pin back out when it's not aligned. Smack this in. Grease, lube, fix the caster, and this should be good enough to send on its way. When it comes to these load wheel axles, you'll notice there's a grease fit. I should have showed you. There's a grease fitting on both sides. The grease fitting on both sides is because you're not greasing the entire thing along the way. Here. You're not greasing the entire length of it. There's a section of bearings here and a section of bearings here. You're only greasing in the middle on both sides. It saves you on a bunch of grease. But that does mean you have to grease 2 grease fittings instead of 1. And it's already coming out. Come on. As long as your grease fitting doesn't get stuck. I already done. Noticed how I went over? Even though I have it on blocks, still gotta be safe. Anything can happen. One of those blocks could just explode. Which would mean I'm under it and I get crushed. You know, just stuff to keep in mind. Safety first. When you're working on equipment that weighs as much as a car, it can crush you very quickly. You know, at least on a car, if you're underneath the tires and you're skinny enough, if the jack stand were to break, you won't be a pancake. This goes all the way down to the ground. If it were to fall and crush, I would be a pancake. Not to mention I got a bit of a gut on me. Alright, let's go install that new caster wheel. Now I'm going to be doing the entire new caster wheel just because I don't have new bearings. That is something I'm working on, but I just don't have them yet. Like, this is what the new caster wheel looks like, the old one. You know, I'm not too worried about, I mean, there's this spot here. But all in all, it's just used. Not too bad. These caster wheels are actually pretty nice. The way that it's all held together, and unlike the load wheels, where's my hammer? Oh, hold on. Nope, that's in there. I can show you here in a second. Unlike the load wheels, these are bolted on. One thing to also note is that they're camped. I don't know if you can see it, but it's going up and down as it rotates. They're adjustable. How much tension do you want on your drive tire? And there's 2 caster wheels, so you want to make sure that it's even. You set one side to one thing, you want to set the other side to that same setting. A little persuasion tap. Washers. Nut. And now the torque spec is about that many Ugga Duggas. Were you counting? Don't forget the grease. This requires a bit more than the low wheel, but still not much. Oh, am I out of grease? I'm out of grease. It's always on the very last one. Now, let's swap this out. You know, I should call her. Don't tell my wife I said that. New tube locked and loaded. Yeah.
Who the f starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
Screw it on. Send this home. Pump, pump. And that's it. All right, let's drop this down and get it out of here. One block. Two block. One thing I also do that I don't think I showed you guys, I go ahead and I put a C-clamp on it just as like a double guarantee. It clamps the forks to the fork. Let's go ahead and remove that C-clamp. C-clamp off. Let's get it out. that's going to be it for today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Deuces.